Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, AFSCME questions FAA relocation and consolidation. Polish Air Force pilot killed in Airshow rehearsal accident. Second B-21 stealth bomber slated to fly before year's end. Welcome to Airborne Unlimited. I'm your host, Holland Lee. Let's get into today's stories. AFSCME questions FAA relocations and consolidation. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy notified FAA headquarters staff employees, spread among 6 locations in D.C., that they'll be relocating to the department's building in the southeastern area of the city. Officials of the union, however, have raised concerns about the plan. FAA Administrator Brian Bedford wrote an email to staff that the timing for each office's relocation would be finalized soon. Duffy wrote in a memo, quote, "For decades, the FAA has been housed under a patchwork of federal buildings, separate from the rest of the DOT. Over the years, this dislocation has created unnecessary complexities between the department and the agency. This distance has made responsiveness, accountability, and transparency a challenge," end quote. Dan Ronneberg, president of the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees Local 1653, said the union was not given advance notice of the relocation. The union filed complaints with the Federal Labor Relations Authority. The union also estimates that about 5,000 employees would be impacted by the relocations. Ronneberg says he's not sure where all those people would go since the DOT headquarters is pretty full already. Ronneberg is concerned that there will be reductions in force, and Duffy already said there would be RIFs, but the number of employees impacted will depend on how many participate in the deferred resignation program. After the break, Boeing pleads for an extension on 777 engine fixes.
Are you ready to ace your FAA drone pilot knowledge test, get your remote pilot certificate, and start earning money? Well, flying a drone is a great tool that can open up new business opportunities for anyone. Realtor, insurance adjuster, videographer, or commercial weekend drone warrior, you need to fly legally. Whether you're pursuing your initial Part 107 remote pilot certificate or you need a renewal, King Schools has a course just for you. So start learning today at kingschools.com.
Welcome back. Now let's take a trip around the patch for some shorter stories. Boeing pleads for extension on 777 engine fixes. Boeing has turned to the FAA for extensions to the PW4000-112 turbofan safety redesign deadline, originally set for March 2028. If the manufacturer gets its way, pushing the cutoff to 2033, most of the already 20-year-old jets will be on their way to the boneyard before changes are made. The issue stems from a series of high-profile failures, most memorably United Flight 328 in February 2021. Debris from a PW4000 scattered across Denver suburbs, leaving a vehicle and a home damaged. Airport administrator under review for possible conflict of interest. The Clark County Board of Commissioners agreed to delay a fee increase by its Department of Aviation to review questions about whether Ben Shajewski, managing director of GA Airports, is subject to conflict of interest due to his position as the volunteer vice chair of the board of World Fuel's Air Elite Network. World Fuel is the fuel provider for North Las Vegas, Henderson Executive, Perkins Field, and Jean Airports, all staffed and managed by Clark County. Huntington Beach discussing new Airshow agreement. Leaders of Huntington Beach, California are discussing a new deal with the operator of the Pacific Airshow, guaranteeing an annual music festival, airshow, and boat race to Catalina Island for 25 years as taxpayers get to pay the majority of the fees for the company. The new agreement follows 2 years after City Council members approved a controversial settlement that paid the operator $5 million, plus other guarantees that were kept secret from the public, until a judge ordered the terms of the settlement to be revealed. Spirit files for bankruptcy. No, this isn't old news. Spirit Airlines is back under Chapter 11, nearly 5 months after completing its restructuring process. The ultra-low-cost carrier has been teetering on the edge after taking a financial hit during COVID-19. Spirit announced that it will keep flying passengers. CEO Dave Davis, who took the role around a month after Spirit's last recovery, took a more optimistic tone and framed the move as a way to give Spirit access to more tools for restructuring, though flight attendants' union leaders are warning members to prepare for all possible scenarios. That's it for today's trip around the patch. Let's get back to the rest of the news. Polish Air Force pilot killed in airshow rehearsal accident. Just days ahead of Poland's largest aviation gathering, the leader of the country's Tiger demo team was behind the controls of an F-16 that crashed, unfortunately costing him his life. Major Maciej Slab Krakowian is remembered as one of Poland's most talented and passionate pilots. The F-16C fighter jet crashed on August 28, 2025, during rehearsal for the Radom International Airshow. Footage shows that the aircraft was executing an aerobatic maneuver and impacted the runway, catching fire as it slid across the ground. Rescue services were quick to the scene, but the pilot did not survive. The pilot was identified as Major Maciej Slab Krakowian of the Polish Air Force's Tiger demo team from the 31st Tactical Air Base. Slab was one of Poland's most experienced F-16 pilots, serving both as an instructor and as the face of the service's aerobatic team. He logged more than 1,000 flight hours in the F-16 and had earlier trained at Poland's Aviation Training Institute and the U.S. Air Force Academy. Krakowian was highly regarded across Europe for his precision flying. Earlier in August, he received the As the Crow Flies trophy at the 2025 Royal International Air Tattoo in Fairford, England, recognizing the best overall flight demo of the event. After these messages, second B-21 stealth bomber slated to fly before year's end.
For over 30 years, the massive Sport Plane Resource Guide has provided expert, credible information, evaluations, and critical analysis of all that the sport aviation world has to offer. The all-new digital Sport Plane Resource Guide is coming with extensive multimedia features that are constantly updated, an even more comprehensive online guide to all things sport aviation. Available soon. www.sportplane.com.
Welcome back. Second B-21 stealth bomber slated to fly by year's end. U.S. Air Force leadership recently revealed that the first flight of its second B-21 Raider may come sooner than expected. The service's first long-range stealth bomber has been airborne since November 2023. Specifically, Lieutenant General Andrew Gabera, the Deputy Chief of Staff for Strategic Deterrence and Nuclear Integration, said that another B-21 would be, quote, here very soon. He added that the first bomber is wrapping up its test flight campaign. Gabera noted that Northrop Grumman didn't need an artificial date to add to the already stressful task of developing what many see as the world's first 6th-gen aircraft. Congress has eased some stress by tossing some extra money its way. The recently signed reconciliation bill tacked on $4.5 billion for the B-21 alone, part of a $150 billion increase for the Pentagon. Northrop Grumman executives are reportedly already discussing an accelerated production ramp with the Air Force. The service ultimately plans to buy about 100 Raiders. The B-21 is capable of intercontinental range and nuclear as well as conventional strike. It's designed to eventually replace the B-52 and B-1, while joining the B-2 as only the second stealth bomber in U.S. history. And that's our show for today. You can catch episodes of Airborne on YouTube, Roku, or Fire TV. Just search for Aero-News or Airborne. And don't forget to follow us on social media. Thanks for watching.